For months now, ties between India and the Maldives have been extremely strained, particularly on account of the island nation's recently elected president's openly anti-India stance and pro-China leanings. Now, amidst all the tensions, Mali seems to be reaching out to New Delhi. The Foreign Minister of the Maldives, Musa Zamir, is currently on a 3-day visit to India. Earlier today, he met with India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. During his welcome remarks, Dr. Jaishankar said, and I quote, "The world is today passing through a volatile and uncertain period. In such times, as we saw during COVID, natural disasters and economic difficulties, close partnerships with neighbors are of great value." He added that as close and proximate neighbors, the development of ties between India and the Maldives is based on mutual interests and reciprocal sensitivity. As far as India is concerned, these are articulated in terms of our neighbourhood first policy and security and growth for all in the region, or the SAGAR mission. Jaishankar further told Zamir that India has been a key provider of developmental assistance to the Maldives. He said, "Our projects have benefited the lives of the people of your country and contributed directly to their quality of life." These range from infrastructure projects and social initiatives to medical evacuations. We've also extended financial support on favourable terms. The Maldivian Foreign Minister too made a number of significant statements during his press interaction following the talks with his Indian counterpart. Referring to a recent controversy triggered by a former Maldives minister who said, the Foreign Minister today said his government would ensure no unsavoury remarks are ever made again about Indians or Prime Minister Narendra Modi by any government official in Mali. He also issued an appeal to Indians saying, "Please come back as tourists to the Maldives." On the Maldives being a key partner in the Indian Ocean region and a Chinese vessel being allowed to dock in Maldivian waters recently, a thorny issue for India, Zamir said, and I quote, "The peace and security of the Indian Ocean is important for India, the Maldives, Sri Lanka and the rest of the countries that we have in the neighbourhood, so we will continue to work together. However, regarding the port call for Chinese vessels, we issued personal rotation and friendly portable permits, and diplomatic clearances came from the Chinese side, which is common in the Maldives. We as a peaceful country welcome those vessels which come for peaceful purposes, but we've not permitted the Chinese vessels for research in the Maldivian waters." With regard to discussions on debt relief measures, Amir said, "Economic cooperation with India has been an integral part of the Maldivian economy. So if there is any debt, we need to discuss it. I did discuss it and will continue to be engaged. The Maldivian people have benefited from the debt that we've received and also from a lot of grants that we have received from the Indian government, and we really appreciate that." When asked why Maldives President Mohammad Muizzu visited China soon after his election late last year, but not India, since previous presidents always visited India first as a tradition, Zamir said, "I don't think there is any military pact with China. One thing the President of Maldives has clearly said is that we are not bringing in any foreign militaries into the Maldives. The President visited Turkey as well as China. I think that was mainly about the convenience of the two sides. We have discussed the President's visit to India. Hopefully it will happen soon." Responding to a question about the controversial repatriation of Indian military personnel based in the island nation, Zamir said, "The Indian government is honouring the requests of the Maldives government and cooperating fully in withdrawing their troops. This is something that demonstrated the strength of the close ties between the two countries. This proves that any such issues faced by the two countries can be resolved through a diplomatic process." Now, this is the first visit to India by a leader from the Maldives since the election of Mohammad Muizzu as the president in November last year. Before embarking on the visit, the Maldivian Foreign Minister had said his highest priority during his trip to India would be to instill mutual respect and build stronger bilateral relations between the two countries. As we said, this visit comes at a time when diplomatic ties between India and the Maldives have been on a downward spiral. Maldivian President Mohammad Muizzu has openly made anti-India statements and pro-China overtures. His visit to China this January strengthened that perception. Muizzu told the Chinese leadership, "China was our #1 market for tourism pre-COVID, and it is my request that we intensify efforts for China to regain that position." What made matters worse was Muizzu's insistence on withdrawal of Indian military personnel operating 3 military platforms in the archipelago. Earlier, relations between the two countries nosedived when some Maldivian politicians from the ruling party posted derogatory racist and highly objectionable remarks about Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Indians in general. Mariam Shuiona, one of the ministers who got suspended over her anti-India posts on social media, had reportedly also shown disrespect towards the international flag. Those episodes triggered a major diplomatic row, with many Indians deciding to boycott the Maldives as a tourist destination and some going as far as to cancel their holiday bookings in that country. And let's not forget, Maldives President Mohammad Muizzu came to power last year on the back of what he and his supporters called an India Out campaign. Recently, though, Muizzu appeared to extend an olive branch when he acknowledged India's financial support to Mali and said India will remain the Maldives' closest ally. This after Muizzu had made several statements indicating that he actually preferred stronger connections with China, which has given the Maldives hundreds of millions of dollars in loans and grants for infrastructure. However, India, aiming to monitor a crucial area of the Indian Ocean, has also given the island country about $2 billion in development aid. For China, expanding its role in the strategically located Maldives is critical to its Indian Ocean push at a time when the region has gained immense geopolitical significance. The Maldives is known as a top luxury holiday destination thanks to its pristine white beaches and secluded resorts, but in recent years it's also become a geopolitical hotspot in the Indian Ocean region, where global east-west shipping lanes pass the archipelago. Muizzu has recently awarded high-profile infrastructure contracts to Chinese state-owned companies. He's also publicly stated that he wants to reduce India's long-standing influence in his country, despite India being a traditional benefactor for the Maldives. The question we're asking on Global Lens tonight is this: will this visit by the Maldives Foreign Minister instill confidence in the Indian leadership that the Maldives is still a reliable and trustworthy partner under its new leadership?
We have said that it's not the stand of the government, or it's not the view of the government, and we believe it is it shouldn't have been done, and then we are taking proper action to make sure that this don't repeat. And I think if you have seen, there has been misunderstanding in social media mainly, but governments of Maldives and India, we understand what has happened, and we have passed that stage now. I think the Minister of Tourism has clearly said that he would like to welcome, and like myself and the rest of the Maldives, we would like to welcome all Indians who would like to travel to Maldives. It's a safe place, and the beaches that they want to enjoy, it's there. And then, yes, it has taken a dent, definitely, but I think in the long term, once we move forward, because if you've seen last 8 months, Maldives and India, we are going through our election cycles. So there have been much said, and especially in the social media. So I think we will move beyond that phase pretty soon. And we, in the Maldives, we would like all Indian tourists to come to Maldives, continue to come.
Both leaders discussed all aspects of the relationship. They also discussed regional issues, regional security issues. They also went over development cooperation program and cooperation that happens between India and Maldives. EM, as you must have seen in his remarks, he noted that as close and proximate neighbors, the development of India-Maldives ties was based on mutual interest and reciprocal sensitivity. He further noted that as far as India was concerned, these were articulated in terms of our neighborhood first and SAGAR vision. We also looked at several other issues that form part of our overall engagement: capacity building, training, security issues that on which we work together, and disaster relief. In many cases, India has been the first responder from Maldives. All those, the entire gamut of relationship was discussed when the two foreign ministers met this afternoon here in New Delhi.